Hello, my name is Lynn Wynn. This is Lynn Wynn's Budgeting. I am a 30 years old cash budgeter. I currently live at home with my parents and my brother. I do handle a majority of my family's finances, so I budget my paychecks, a portion of my parents' paychecks, and a home help check that we get every 2 weeks. For today's video, I wanted to break down our car loan. We got a brand new Honda Pilot in October, I believe, of 2022. I wanted to show you guys the cost of it. I am really nervous to show you guys this because the numbers are so big. I feel like sometimes it hasn't hit me yet about how much debt we're in now because of this car. This is our only debt other than our mortgage. So I guess this is also like a debt confession video as well. For a little background, my dad's car was pretty much reaching the end of its life. We paid $10,000 for that car, and I believe my dad put like almost 200,000 miles on it, or maybe a little bit more. So he definitely got his money's worth out of that. But maintenance, other than like a routine oil change, was starting to cost like over $1,000 every time something needed to be done. So it was time to just move on from that car, and we've been talking about getting a new car for a long time before we bought it, and we have been saving for it. My brother also had a stroke back in 2020, and that stroke caused him to be disabled. He is wheelchair bound. He initially lost movement in his right side. He is starting to walk again, so he's regaining some of that movement back in his right leg. He hasn't regained any movement back in his right arm yet, but we're still hopeful and still, working towards that, or he's still working towards that. But my car was the only car that was able to transport him around and his wheelchair. I've got a Subaru Crosstrek, but we got that car before we got his official permanent wheelchair. He had a loaner wheelchair when I bought my Subaru, and that loaner wheelchair, the back of the wheelchair actually folded down, so it was a lot more compact, and it fit in my trunk without moving the back seats down. But when we actually got his wheelchair, because it was custom, so it took a while. It was a little bit wider than the loaner chair that we had, and it actually folded in, so the wheels come in, so the handles and the back didn't fold down, so that made it really long. And I do have to put my back seats down in order for that wheelchair to fit in my car. So we're looking for a bigger SUV so that all of us can actually go to places together, because if we all wanted to go out, the four of us, including the wheelchair, it would be a tight squeeze in the back, so it wouldn't really fit everybody. So we were looking at a bigger SUV, one that can hold his wheelchair. So that was one option. Another option was to get a customized van, but those costs were outrageous because there was only a few places around me that made specialized van. So if you put kind of those keywords in front of anything, I feel like it pretty much doubles the cost. But the customized van will be able to, it will have a ramp that he can come up, and then it will lock him in the spot in his wheelchair. But because they were working on transferring, we settled for just getting a bigger SUV, or not settled, but we chose to just get a bigger SUV because he was starting to transfer in and out of the car really well. And we settled on I keep saying settled, we chose the Honda Pilot. There wasn't a lot of options. There wasn't a lot of used car options either for what we were looking for. So I'm gonna break down the cost of that and the loan that we ended up taking out for the car. So the car itself was, I hope you guys can see this, but the car itself was $48,705. But that is not all. We got the care package as well too, and so the Honda care package was $3,888. And the unfortunate thing about the care package was I wanted about half of what they were offering, but it was an all or nothing type of deal. So we get all 4 seasons where I live. So there is a lot of potholes and a lot of rocks and dirt and everywhere that just flings up. My first car, I mean, it was pretty quickly when I got a crack in the windshield and all of that stuff. So the Honda Care package does include like windshield replacements, and I believe there are sensors in the windshield as well too, so that makes it more expensive. So that was one thing that I wanted on there. I it extends all the warranty and all of that stuff too, but it was all or nothing type of deal. For my Subaru, I was able to pick and choose what portion of the care package I wanted to pay for. So it did not cost as much for my Subaru, but we went with it for that anyways. And then there was a house maintenance plan, and that one was $498. And I believe those were all the oil changes. And actually, I'm not sure what that is now that I'm thinking about it. I think I knew back in October, but I can't remember off the top of my head what that is. So yeah, I believe that was like the oil change. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm sorry, you guys. You should always know where you're spending your money, but I'm a bad example of that right now. And then there was an admin fee involved as well too, and that one was kind of pricey. That was $399.95. And then also a license fee, which was $6. So the total came out to be $53,496.95 for the car and all the additional things. So then we'll move on to our down payment. I did put $8,000 down, and we traded in my dad's car, which had like barely any value to it. They valued that at $775. We probably could have sold it for a little bit more, but that was just such a hassle. So I didn't want to put in that effort, and my dad didn't want to put in that effort. It was up to my dad on what he wanted to do, but I wasn't going to try to list it and do all of that. So that total came out to be $8,775. So the loan that we took out was $44,721.95. So there was a couple of different financing plans, and I chose the one with the least interest, or the smallest interest rate, which was 48 months at 1.9 interest rate, 1.9% interest rate. So that meant our monthly payment is super high. It came out to be $969.05, due on the 29th of every month. It is due on the 28th for the month of February, since it is not a leap year. And so I just round up and make our payment $1,000 per month. We chose this. We felt comfortable, not comfortable. We decided we were able to make this payment as a family. It is a 3 full-time income household. I work full-time and my mom and dad works full-time, so we all contribute to the bills. There would have been some sacrifices, but we knew that coming in. And then my brother also gets disability, so that covers most of his expenses every month. So and except for food is just like a never-ending battle with everybody, because food costs are so high these days. But we do feel confident that we're able to make this payment every month. It is high. I do not recommend going this route if you don't have the funds for it. I looked at, well, obviously, if you don't have the funds for it, that's not making any sense. I'm just rambling at this point. But I don't recommend going this route without, deep discussions and really looking at your budget to see if you have room for that and where you can cut off any money. So because we are full-time and we've all got a decent amount, like I've got job security, and my parents, it's hit or miss, but they're able to make a living every month. They do make more money in the summertime than they do in the wintertime, but it's still enough to cover all of our bills. So, and also they have leftover money for food and all of that stuff too. So that is why we chose to do this. I believe the highest it went up was 60 months, and the payment was still in the $800 range. I tried looking for the paper to kind of show all the different options we had, but it didn't really go down a significant amount if I were to go up to 60 months. And I believe the interest rate at that went up to either, I think it was 3.9%. So I did choose to do the 48 months at 1.9% interest rate. But that is not all. In the state that we live in, you cannot finance the taxes on the car. You pay the taxes when you go register your car, and you get like your tags and all of that stuff. So, and your plates if you guys didn't transfer plates over. So that is another cost that we had to plan for, because it is a lot of money. And when you go to the car dealership, they do warn you about that, to make sure that you have money and you don't put it all down in your down payment, because I did want that down payment to be a little bit higher, but had to factor in our taxes that we needed to pay. I believe the only place that I know of here is CarMax that allows you to finance your taxes. But if you're buying from a dealership, you end up paying the taxes at the DMV when you go. And so I'm going to break down that cost, and this is what we had to pay up front when I got my tags. So we have a local tax that we have to pay, and that is 3.625%, and that was on the car price minus the trade-in value. So I can't do that off the top of my head, but a little less than $48,000. And that came out to be $1,737.46. Then that local tax is dependent on what county you live in. And then you also paid the state tax, which was 4.225%. And that came out to be $2,025.04. Then there's a couple of small fees involved. There was an agent fee for the title, and that agent fee was $6. And then there was a title fee, and that title fee was $8.50. And then there was an agent fee for the transfer, and that was $6. Then the transfer fee, which was $2. So they get you there. It's not much, but an agent fee for the title fee, like that, it gets a bit ridiculous. And so the total taxes that I had to pay up front at the DMV was $3,785. And I had, you get, I believe, 30 days from when you purchase your car to go to the DMV and get your tags and pay the taxes. If you owe any past personal taxes, you can't do this. They will make you pay any past personal taxes or property tax, I guess. If you still owe that, any back taxes, they will make you pay that before they will give you titles to new cars or tags or whatever it is that you get. So that is what we ended up spending. Our loan that we got from the bank was $44,721.95. And then we did a $8,000 down payment. And then at the DMV, we paid $3,785 in taxes and fees. So yeah, it wasn't very easy. It's never easy to buy a car, but we had this extra major expense that we had to plan for. So this was the first thing that I saved for, and I believe I saved like $4,000. Because they do have like a calculator to help you determine, and I rounded up to 4,000, and I spent the rest, I believe, on my brother's birthday to get him like a cake and just random stuff after I registered the car. Then I wanted to go for a $10,000 down payment, but we just didn't have extra time to save an extra $2,000. So $8,000 wasn't terrible. But yeah, that is the breakdown of our car loan. And this is my current debt that we are working on paying. So if you guys have made it to the end of the video, I appreciate you guys so much. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so and giving this video a thumbs up. Until next time, bye.